affirmations to start off your day. You make everything exciting. You make everything feel like Christmas Day. December. Life is easy, lucky, and free. You're the coolest person you know. You're the coolest person you know. Say it with me now. I'm the coolest person I know. You're your own personal cheerleader. You look in the mirror and you tell yourself, you got this, bitch. Okay, I'm not gonna do the microphone the whole video just because I feel like it would be super obnoxious. But I wanted to try because people keep telling me that my sound is kind of off whenever I film in here, but I love filming in here because I feel like it's like my happy place. Anyway, hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. I can't believe that we're in December now. That's just so insane to me, but it's been a really great year. And I wanted to make this video because I feel like when I always, when it's around like end of November, beginning December, I always look back at the year that I had and just like take into account the growth and everything like that. And I realized that this year, out of all the years that I've had, I've been like consistently the most happy. And I think it has to do with a few factors. And I really wanted to share those with you. I don't know if you can hear like kids screaming, but we're close by to a school, so they're probably outside playing right now. And yeah, if you've been following my channel for a while, you know all about like, you know, my affirmation practice and spirituality and meditation. But in this video, I want to share just some different things that I haven't shared yet and some things that I've been thinking about and that I talk about with my friends. And I honestly see you guys as my friends, and I know that so many people are like, parasocial relationships are so weird, like you're not really friends, but like fuck that, you guys are like my actual friends. And I see you that way. Like if you see me on the street, I'm going to treat you the same way that I do when I talk to you in these videos. So yeah, let's get into this video and talk about like some of the things that I've learned this year around how to stay consistently happy, creativity, sort of like the secret tools I've found. I also in the last video was talking about maybe doing like a Q&A, but sometimes I feel like Q&As can get like really stale. It's just like you're reading the question and the answer. Well, I mean, that's what a Q&A is. But I thought that maybe it would be more interesting if I just answered a question at the end of each video. So that's what I'm gonna do at the end of the video. Okay, the first is that obviously like Christmas, the holidays are coming up, so this video is sponsored by me. I honestly am so proud of this journal, the I Love Being Sensitive Guided Affirmation Journal, and I think it would be such a good holiday gift. It's for artists and empaths. You don't have to be an artist to buy it, but I think it's really great for creative people who are maybe blocked or just want to get to know themselves deeper. As well as my next single, Sauvage, is coming out December 16th, and you guys can pre-save that down below on Spotify so you're the first to hear it. I want to say thank you again for all your support on my first song, and I'm just having so much fun putting music out there and just like the whole process of creating art and just making it really special. So yeah, I'll leave that link down below as well. So first of all, I hope you guys are all doing so good and that you don't feel too much pressure with this year coming to an end. I was talking about this on my podcast actually, about how near the end of the year we always feel like this pressure to like finish all our projects. Just remember, time isn't linear, time is stacked. So for example, maybe you have a month where you have a ton of projects and you're really productive, and then another month where you maybe don't do as much. Time should be measured in that way, and it is measured for most people in that way, because our body doesn't go by years. Our body goes by experiences and things that we go through, and our successes and our failures. Our body takes all of that into account when it ages. So just remember that maybe if this last year you weren't as productive as you wanted to be, that's totally fine, and maybe next year will be totally different. You don't know. So just don't be hard on yourself. I feel like that's one of the first things that I really want to talk about, is really taking power over your own thoughts, and not letting these negative or limiting beliefs make you feel less than about yourself. I was reading this book called Skip the Line, and it's a really good book, a really good self-help book. And the guy who wrote it was talking about in the book how many people think that humans can multitask, but we can't multitask with our thoughts. You can't have two thoughts at the same exact time. So, for example, something that I've started practicing recently, and which has made me like a fucking happy person. I was about to say happy hippo. I was like, why are you gonna call yourself a hippo? I just feel like the happiest person alive since I've realized this concept. That, yeah, two thoughts cannot exist at the same time. So, for example, if you have a negative thought and you catch yourself having that thought and you replace it with, for example, gratitude, which is one of the highest frequency thoughts, you can't still be having that negative thought. It's almost sort of like a game for me. Like every time I have a thought and it's negative, I'm like, pew, gratitude. And why is gratitude the highest frequency? It's because you're already saying that right now, presently, is enough. And it's when we can be happy with the present situation and find the joy in the small things in the present situation, that then we're attracting more of that. Like can only be attracted to like. That's why it's so important to just keep gratitude as your home base. And of course, you're gonna have moments of like, fuck, like, I don't know, say you lost like 20 bucks in the metro or something. Like that sucks, you know? But I think to train yourself to always look on the bright side of things, at least it wasn't $100. I'm like that annoying friend that's like, at least it is, and everyone's like, shut up. But at the same time, it's so true. That's why I'm so happy all the time. I listen to a lot of Abraham Hicks, and it's all about law of attraction as well. And she talks about when you have a thought, asking yourself if it is a limiting belief thought or if it's a receiving thought. For example, I'm always asking myself whenever I'm thinking something, is this a thought that's coming from a place of fear, or is this a thought that is coming from the place of imagination and excitement? Like, oh my gosh, I can't wait for next year because I'm so sure that it's going to be the best year ever. And I know that a lot of people will take this advice and turn it into like, oh, that's toxic positivity. Why can't we just feel how we feel? The truth is, our whole life, we've been brainwashed into fear being the home base. You know, 90% of people, when they hang out with their friends, what are they doing? They're just talking about how their life isn't going well. Honestly, it's the easy thing to do, to always be negative and thinking about how like shitty, you know, this isn't going well and this isn't going well. Every time that your words have power, and every time that you speak that situation into existence, like for example, there was a while there when I was like going through dating for the first time again after my divorce, and I was saying like, I'm never like, this sucks, like, dating sucks. And I kept saying that, and I kept saying, like, bitch, stop saying that. Like, stop saying that. Because if I have faith in every other area of my life, why wouldn't I around that? So, yeah, like, you know, you can do whatever you guys want. I'm just sort of wanting to share this because truly I wake up every day. I am consistently the happiest person I know, and I'm not saying that to like brag and be like, I'm the happiest person I know, look at me in my little dress. I'm just saying it because I've seen a difference when I've started implementing these things. And you know, you don't have to follow this advice, but I promise you that if you try it, it will make a difference in your life, you know? And we've been taught all our life to keep this home base of fear because it makes the patriarchy and society win. You know, if all of us are afraid to go after our dreams, then we'll stay in jobs that are serving the system. If all of us are afraid to question things and just talking about how miserable our lives are, then we're going to take that misery and invest it into consumerism and, you know, buying a bunch of shit because it makes us happier. Why do you guys think that around the holiday, that's when people start getting like spiked up about like buying things and this and that, which of course is fun. Like the holidays are fun because it does have that innate joy, but people get this high from buying things because it replaces an emptiness that they have inside of them. Shit, I just went off on a tangent. But all this to say that like I think that there is this desire to sort of want to label the law of attraction and positivity as being toxic just because it encourages you to brainwash yourself. And why the fuck wouldn't you brainwash yourself when your whole life you've been brainwashed by other people? We have to extra brainwash ourselves into this home base of happiness and joy and excitement for life because our whole life has been the opposite, and so we need to do this to balance things out, you know? Just a side note about words having power. I went back to one of my journals from 2019 before I had a YouTube channel, before I had done any of the things that, you know, I guess in a way I was sort of a late bloomer. I actually even made a video about like following my dreams late in life, you know? And not to say that I'm old or anything, but, you know, compared to a lot of people that did a very sort of standard trajectory, I took a lot of like side roads and paths figuring out what I wanted to do. And yeah, in 2019, like I was working at a grocery store while I was studying, and I wrote out that I would like to have a YouTube channel and to have a creative community. I would like to write a book. I would like to be a full-time artist. I would like to travel, and I wrote like Iceland and all these places. And my life now, I've accomplished those things by being very mindful about my thoughts. I always say how excited I am about where life is gonna go. And I think that for a lot of people, they find that super fucking annoying, which if I was them, I would too. Like if I hadn't understood this simple law of attraction, I would find it super annoying too. Like, why does she get this or that? Like, even people in my life always ask, like, it just seems like things come so easy to you. But it's because every day when I meditate, I say, life is easy, lucky, and free. And I have faith, and I make choices from a place of faith and not fear. And I want that for you guys too. You know, if you're watching this video, I don't think that it's par hasard. I don't think that you crossed this for just like a random reason. I think that we're all brought into each other's paths. Maybe for a moment, maybe you've been here for like 3-4 years, I don't know. But I think that we're all here to learn from each other, and I just really feel like my purpose here is to just share what has made this my dream life, and it's so simple and it's free. It's easy, it's lucky, and it's free. Okay, this next one is probably one of the most important things that I've learned around like creativity this year, and it's made a fucking difference in my life. I can't even tell you girls. So once a week now, I have one day that's only dedicated to experimentation and play. Like a full fucking day. Like a day where I would normally be hanging out with friends. I'm like, no, this is my day. And I don't like work. I think of like fun ideas. For example, like I'll do like a crazy makeup look, or now that I have this microphone, I'll like write down some spoken word, and I'll like try it with like my synth, and there's no outcome expected. It's just to play around. And at the end of each week, I typically do like a weekly check-in about how my week went, and I'll always ask myself like, what brought you the most joy this week and excitement? And that's how I realized that it's these play days that have really brought me the most fun. And the more the research I do about it, the more I realize that that's when most people have their best ideas, when you're not under pressure, but it's just like an experimental fun thing. Like, I'm sure you've had this where you're just like fucking around with a friend and like making up little rhymes or something, and then you like make a song and you're like, whoa, we weren't even trying. What would it be like if we actually tried? But actually, it's when you're trying sometimes that it is more difficult, because actually just giving yourself the permission to play kind of opens up the horizons and the doors in a way that sort of putting yourself in a box, I have to complete this in this way in this time, does. So that's something that I'm doing every week, and you probably even have noticed on my Instagram, it's like become a little more like creative and wacky. Like the other day, I'm doing an art show in the Marais on the weekend of the 16th too, so right after my song comes out. And they asked me to do like a lecture, and I was just playing around in here, putting like green on my face and dressing up like a witch, because it was sort of like in line with the performance that I'm going to be doing. And I took some photos and some videos, and I was like, this is actually like pretty interesting and like strange. Even like in the beginning of the video, like doing these affirmations with the synth, like that's fucking fun. Even today when I woke up and I got dressed, I could have just worn any old thing, but I was like, why don't you wear your princess dress, Shayna? It just sparks joy, you know? And I think allowing yourself to just elevate every area of your life by asking yourself, how can I have more fun? How can I make this more joyful? How can I, like, you know, like I was just talking about the intro to this video, I could have just been like, hey guys, welcome to my channel. But I was like, let's just make this fun. And it gets you into that spirit and that energy of joy and creativity. And I think that having fun yourself makes people have fun, you know? And I think that it really gets you tapped into like a sort of creative flow. And I think that when we're having fun with something, we're more able to follow through with it, you know what I mean? So that's a really big one, is like carving out time just for fun and creativity, and that is scheduled time. That is sacred fucking time. I was doing research about this too, and a lot of some of the biggest artists, what they have in common is they do have these carved out times where they just do nothing, or just sit and sort of have ideas. Like I've kind of gotten into the habit as well before I go to bed to like shut everything off, and I'll just like lay in my bed like a zombie, and like I'll have like all these ideas, and like Beyonce does this, and like a lot of other artists do Beyonce fucking does it, you know. So that's something that has made like a really big difference, and I think that everyone can do. And maybe you can't do like a full day, like maybe you have kids, or maybe you have other work commitments, but even like, you know, 2 hours just being like, what feels good today? You know, like last week what I did is like I hadn't painted in like a really long time, and I just had this canvas, and I was like, oh, I'd really love to just like paint something. And I had the best night listening to music, and yeah, so that's something that I think has made me consistently happy and kept me in that really like childlike sweet spot. I think that we should all tap into. Like, just, I think that, you know, you're following your true north when you're following what feels good and what excites, you know? Okay, I took a quick water break, but funny story, I actually, it's not even fucking funny, but I broke my last contact lens, and I just don't like wearing my glasses. Sometimes it's a vibe, but I just don't typically like it. So like this whole video, I can't even like see the camera or anything. But anyway. All right, I have one more that I want to share with you guys. One more thing that I wrote down. Also, you guys can't see this This is actually a prototype, this journal, for a project I'm working on in 2023. Let me know if you guys would like to hear like a goals video for 2023. And just like maybe a vision board video. I think those are so fun. And it's also like, let's get excited about life. Let's make life great again, you know? But yeah, like the last thing that I feel like has really made such a big difference in my creativity and my happiness this year is investing in a passion that no one can take away from you. You know, like what I've learned over these last few years, and you know, some people hear this and they think it's like, sounds a little jaded. But it's just the truth that like at the end of the day, you know, relationships come and go, friendships come and go. Friendships are there for a season, relationships are there for a season, you know, like nothing really lasts forever, and that's not sad, it's just the way of life, you know. But your passions that you invest your time into, no one can take away from you. And I think there's something so powerful about that. There's so powerful in investing in yourself. You know, I feel like I would consider myself a lone wolf in a lot of ways. Actually, I was talking about this with one of my friends, that even though I love like sharing and connecting with people in a deep way, I feel like because I'm a highly sensitive person, most people's energies are just like too, it's like when I have an interaction with somebody, it's almost like too, like, I don't even know how to explain it, like raw, I guess. Like actually like interactions with people on a day-to-day basis, I always are like actually really painful for me. Like, not like painful, but just like, I just can't wait to get away from them. Not with like my friends, but I just always feel like when I get home and I close the door, it's like, I can breathe again. You know what I mean? Let me know if you guys also feel like that. And anyway, I'm getting off topic, but that's why like I really prefer to invest in myself, and because I feel like at the end of the day, no matter what, those are things no one can take away from you. And yeah, it's just crazy. For example, I talked about this a lot, but this past year I really wanted to start the guitar, and when I went to Iceland, there just happened to be a guitar there and a whole studio that I could play with for the whole month, and that started my sort of musical journey. They had an amazing vintage synth. I would have never started playing the synth, and now it's like my favorite thing ever. I just feel so connected to this instrument. When I play this instrument, I feel like I'm connected to heaven. And I know it sounds so weird, but like I just feel like it just feels right. And I think that when you find your passion, it'll feel like that. It'll feel like you're like on your path to your true north, you know? So find that thing and invest as much time as you can in it, because that thing is keeping you young. That thing is making you a better person because it's making you happier. And if you feel connected to that thing, it means that it's a part of your destiny and that it's in your life for a reason. You know, I feel like it's not a question of, I always say this to myself, so you should say it to yourself too. It's not a question of if things are gonna work out, if my dreams are gonna come true, it's when, because I know that I wouldn't have these desires and be aligned like I am if I wasn't supposed to do something with it. And I was having dinner with some girls the other day, and one of them was a little bit surprised by like how I kept saying like, my success is inevitable. I wasn't like convincing myself, it just is. And it almost maybe like, I think she saw it as almost like wow, like she's too sure of herself. But that's what I was talking about earlier, where the world wants us to like have this fear all the time. I'm not afraid, and you shouldn't be either, because your dreams are coming true if you believe in them, you know? If you are sure of yourself, if you can be convinced of one thing, be convinced of your intuition and your desires, you know? And if you can do that, if you can be so sure of that, then like it's in the bag. You know what I mean? And it doesn't have to do with talent. It doesn't have to do with you being like some special person. It's just about frequency, you know? Because if you're up here, you can't, you're not even, like, everything down here is going to go away because it can't reach you, you know? I feel like I don't want to sound like a cult leader or something, and sometimes I just get so passionate about these things. But it's because I just want so badly for you guys to feel this way. You know, I want you guys, like, all of your dreams to come true too. You guys are like my little sisters, or my babies, or like, I don't know, like we're family now, you know? Anyway, I guess I'll end this video by answering a Q&A question. Oh fuck, my phone's dead. Hold on, I gotta charge it. I'll be right back. Go get a drink of water. I'll be right back. One question that I've been asked on Instagram, go follow me there if you want to keep up with what I'm doing, was, do you think that it's necessary to go to art school? I'm considering it. I'm also considering changing directions. Okay. Okay, I love these questions because I feel like when I was also in that same boat of like, oh, like, you know, when I started art school, I've graduated. I have my master's now in fine art, which is like weird to say. I never thought that I would be able to afford to have my master's, but in France, as we all know, the education is like really close to free. So I was able to do that. Thank you, France. Love you. Love you. But yeah, like I was sort of changing directions, but I really enjoyed the process of being in art school and studying, and I was able to do it like sort of next to nothing. I don't think that I would have if I was in the US, just because it is so expensive. And I think the most important thing to me is to be free. That's why I'm like so afraid, like not afraid, I don't like the word fear, but je me méfie of like taking out loans, or because I feel like if you don't have the money to pay for something, especially, I mean, besides maybe like a house, because like obviously, you know, you have to pay rent anyway, so if you're paying off a loan for a house, but I feel like if you can't really afford something, then you shouldn't get it. But anyway, do I think it's necessary to study art to be an artist? Not necessarily, but I can't deny the fact that like having that sort of environment, it opened up doors for me, and it's done a lot for me personally. So if I had to do it over, I would definitely do it over. And if you're looking to change directions in your life, I just say go for it. I think that we're so used to like the day-to-day of our lives, and we get into a routine, we truly forget how fucking precious this life is. Like, what a gift. Are you kidding me? Like, it's so crazy that we get to be on earth and we get to experience all these beautiful things like love and friendship and creativity, and you're gonna die one day, you know? I know that sounds like super morbid, but like, we really only have this one life. And it's just so important, I think, to, you know, in the day-to-day, because, you know, we can look at the big picture, but really what you have to live is the day-to-day. And what's going to make you happy day-to-day? You know, you just have to ask yourself, like, personally in your own life, what you want, you know? But I think it's really important to always question things, you know? Like, I think I've talked about this, but when I ended high school, I was just going to take out a bunch of loans and go to school in the US because that's what everyone else was doing, and it just felt like, but then I was like, hey, like, that's sweet, like, ooh, when I got those Sally Mae papers, I was like, to sign the loan, I was like, I don't know about this. And I think it's just important to remember that, like, you can create a life that is, like, unique and original based on what you want your life to look like, you know what I mean? The best advice as well that I can give is dream bigger than you think is possible. You know what I mean? Like, what's that freaking expression that's like, shoot for the moon and then you'll land among the stars. But truly, like, I've talked about this before, but the universe will expand by your belief system of how much your dreams can come true, or how generous you think the universe is. If you, for example, are looking for an apartment and you like just go with the first one you get because you're afraid and it's a fear-based decision, then that's what you'll get. But I think that sometimes we lack faith, and so we just go with what we think is the safe options. But if you actually jump and try, I think every time in my life that I've taken a risk, it's worked out, you know? And that's not to say be like super reckless, but at the same time, like, just, your job isn't to figure out the how, your job is to figure out the what. And I think that sometimes that can be hard depending on your family structure and how you were brought up. But you're the one that has to live your life. So yeah, anyway. Thank you guys so much for watching. I had a really fun time filming this video, and you guys are all really special to me. Oh wait, I wanted to do something. Hold on. Okay, so I want to take a photo of you guys, how you are right now. Think of your dream, the dream that you have, that you want more than anything. And this photo will be a photo that I will have when in 10 years you can write me and say that your dreams came true, and maybe this video helped you a little bit. So, cheers. Smile. Okay. I'm gonna like get those developed and be like, why did I take like a photo of my camera? I'm gonna totally forget. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, for being here. I know that like YouTube isn't, I shouldn't say that because speaking things into existence, but as we all know, like YouTube isn't as poppin' as it used to be, and people are, you know, spending more time on other platforms. So the fact that you guys are here and still watching my videos and supporting me means a lot. So yeah, if you guys do want to support what I'm doing, I have a Patreon where I have a podcast episode, we do meetups. I think I said this a little bit earlier. I have this guided affirmation journal out, which has a lot of really great prompts in it. I have prints and a poetry book out. So, and yeah, go pre-save my song as well if you guys love me, because I'm just so excited about music lately, and I would love for you guys' feedback and your support. So anyway, I hope you have a beautiful week. If you made it to the end, leave me a comment of one dream that you have, if it's not a secret. Okay, I love you. Bye. And see you next Tuesday. Life is easy, lucky, and free. The best is yet to come.